Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started, everybody. My name is Brittany Ramsey. I am your region chair. Our region encompasses Ohio, Indiana, and Northern Kentucky. And we're bringing everybody together tonight to talk about some virtual LFS programming ideas and to see if you guys had any questions. So let's go ahead and get started. I've got the Region H website pulled up on your screen. So this is our homepage. This is where all the information about our staff volunteers, our sections, our chapters, conferences, and other year-round resources are listed. We went ahead and created a special tab for the virtual resources that our students need this spring and summer, especially so everything that we're talking about tonight you're going to find here. And I continue to update this webpage almost daily and probably will do so for the next few weeks. So if you're missing out on anything or need some additional info, please check out this webpage and then definitely reach out to your section chairs, your advisors, or myself, and let me know if you need any extra assistance with anything. So let's go ahead and explore that tab. Here are all the virtual resources. I've broken them down by categories. So we have leadership, fellowship, and service. We have membership, finance listed, some miscellaneous resources, and then some templates for virtual meetings and virtual meeting host examples. So we're on Zoom right now. That is something that's been working super well for the last few webinars that we've done. I know a few of our chapters have already started using Zoom for their chapter and pledge meetings. It seems like a very user-friendly system. It's very easy to share screens. So if you want to lead a PowerPoint or you want to do what I'm doing and kind of share screen and just go through different documents with your exec or your chapter or the pledge class, it's very easy to do so. The other neat feature is when people have their webcam turned on, you can have everybody kind of shown together at once. So even if you've got a chapter meeting of 50 people or you want to do a fellowship event with 30 of them, everybody's videos and mics can show up and turn on and everybody can kind of converse with one another. So Zoom seems to be a really great resource. I know smaller chapters and for smaller events or meetings, people can use Google Hangouts and Skype very easily as well. So it really depends on what the audience is, what the audience size would be, and what the type of event that you're looking for would be. I also have a list of our webinars on the website, just like we're doing tonight. The recorded versions go up after a couple days, and then any updates from the national office or myself or new resources gets posted here as well. So if you're looking for any news and you haven't heard from a section chair yet, it all gets posted here as well so that it's in one convenient location and everybody can find what they're looking for. So tonight we're really diving into the Leadership, Fellowship, and Service program aspects of this new virtual online learning challenge that we are all facing. So we've come up with some ideas already to get you guys started. So I know a lot of chapters have started the discussions of kind of reducing the amount of hours they're requiring this spring or getting rid of those requirements for just the spring semester to kind of make it easier for everybody that's home virtually, which is definitely an option for your chapters if it sounds like the actives or pledges might not be able to find it feasible to reach those requirements like 20 service hours or 3 fellowship events, things like that. But I do think it's very important to keep those communication channels open and keep your brothers connected. I think that's what's going to keep your chapter membership strong through something like this that's happening nationally and then also throughout the summer, so that you're not cutting off all communication and then trying to start something from scratch come September when everybody's hopefully back on campus. You want to keep those communication channels open, especially while people are going through online college courses. It's a very stressful time for our students and definitely for our volunteers and our advisors, and keeping people connected and having that outlet or that lifeline to APO can be really important to people just so they still have that support system and it hasn't been shut off to them. It's also really important in times like these, just like our President Coop said in his message, kind of a call to service, just to make sure that we are continuing to be of service in whatever way is physically possible at the moment, whether that's virtually or doing it from the comfort of our homes, or setting up things that we collect and then we'll later donate or put into action when we can physically, like outside of our homes. So it's important to always be of service and to definitely continue being a leader, especially if you're in one of those like VP leadership or fellowship or service roles where you're really the head of that program for your chapter and your actives and pledges are kind of looking to you for direction. Even if you've decided to limit the amount of requirements or to get rid of those hours this spring, you can always offer LFS events virtually as an optional thing for your actives or your pledges to partake in. And really, I think students enjoy having that continual fellowship experience, especially that comes so naturally with being able to communicate with each other. So whether people are grabbing some paper and pens and like making cards for a nursing home, but they're Skyping while they're doing it so everybody can kind of chat and have a good time, or you're all going to watch a Netflix movie online together at the same time in group chat. No matter what the activity is, I think keeping those communication channels up is only going to help your chapter stay strong and really stay connected, and help your chapter membership not lose the members that sometimes we do over summer or long periods of time with no contact. So let's go ahead and dive in. The first one we're going to look at are the ideas for virtual leadership events. So I've got that pulled up here. Here are 10 of our ideas for leading things that are specific to the leadership principle in our fraternity. And this is definitely just a brainstormed list of ideas. It's definitely not conclusive. So if your chapter exec or your pledges or actives have more ideas, my best suggestion would be to be as open and creative and flexible as possible. Maybe it's things that we haven't looked at as leadership in the past, like going to a conference or a workshop or sitting through a webinar, but maybe opening our minds and trying to figure out what are other ways that people can experience that leadership principle while we're all home and doing things virtually. So our first couple ones are pretty standard. We have the APO impact webinars. These tend to be a little more specific for chapter officers. But if you've got some pledges or actives that might be interested in running for a position in the future, they can always take these webinars to develop their skills in APO. One of my suggestions to service VPs is to look at these opportunities as service to the fraternity opportunities as well. So you can kind of double dip with leadership and service, because they are developing their skills specifically for your chapter to better your chapter and to provide more skills in your leadership group. So that can be seen by several chapters as a service to the fraternity hour as well. We have the APO Leads Launch course on demand. So this would be a great time for any of your actives or pledges who have not completed launch to get it done while they're home. And if they want 3 service to the fraternity hours or their leadership requirement met or anything like that, it's a really great chance to just get the foot in the door and learn the basics of leadership development. And then that way that sets them up for future conferences or the convention this December to be able to take the other APO Leads courses like Explore, Achieve, Discover, and Serve. We have region webinars like you're on tonight. These are a great chance to learn things a little more locally and more broad. So it's not just for officers. We're also leading some roundtables and events for seniors. We're going to lead things for pledges to partake in. And then we're going to have region-wide leadership, friendship, and service events too. So that's where you can get that inter-chapter experience as well, and also reach students that are from multiple sections, just like you would at a conference. So stay tuned for that calendar. That'll be for the month of April. We'll hopefully have 2 or 3 things happening each week on top of your chapter programming. So if you are a little inundated with what's going on in your personal life or with handling the virtual college courses that you have to take now, there's definitely help out there. The region's going to be putting some things on. I'm sure we'll see some other things nationally, like the APO Impact webinars and more webinars coming from our national staff. So just stay tuned. There's going to be lots of different resources if you don't want to or don't have the means to plan and execute live all of these different types of events. I think this is also a really great chance too to like ask for volunteers. If you've got an eager active or even a pledge that's like, hey, I would really love to lead a live Zumba course and everybody can kind of do fellowship together. Definitely like be creative and flexible and ask for help when you need it. I think that's the best key part to being a leader in times of stress like this, is reaching out and asking for help when you need it. So getting back on topic, a few of the other ideas online are watching some recorded TED Talks that are available on demand on YouTube. Allison.com is a site that we found that has a lot of free online courses for leadership or project management. If people are watching things on their own time, and you're not doing it like as a group live webinar where you share a screen and everybody's watching the same thing at a time, one of the tips we have below is that you can have people watch those TED Talks on their own time and then maybe write a paragraph and submit it to the leadership chair or leadership VP to get credit for them doing that on their own time. There's also endless amounts of leadership development speeches or courses that are on YouTube as well. And you might want to have students check with the leadership chair or VP or whoever oversees this program for your chapter before they go ahead and watch it, just to make sure they can get the credit for it if that's something your chapter is doing this spring. There's a lot of reading material out there. Your students could lead their own webinars. I know that this is something I've seen some chapters start doing at the end of their meetings, like offering actives or pledges the chance to kind of lead a workshop or a mini workshop for something that they're passionate about or super knowledgeable in. So if you've got any students that would like to lead a live webinar and help you with adding another program, you could have an advisor lead one. Maybe your section chair or a section or region staff member would like to lead one for your chapter. And then if you have any online university leadership development material as well. So some of our universities already have their own recorded speeches and things like that. So you can ask your student affairs or student involvement office to see if there's anything available online or printed that you guys could use as readily available leadership development tools. At the bottom of each of these documents, we have some general tips. So things to keep in mind. I've already been kind of reiterating some of these as we go along, but offering more work from home opportunities. We all know that we're not on campus for the rest of spring in our region. So being creative and flexible where we can, and to come up with more ways for people to do things from home, whether it's individually or they can do it live together as a group and just share a screen and everybody watch the same video at the same time. Maybe open the opportunity for more things outside of APO. If you have that requirement, like you have to do 3 APO related leadership development courses, maybe open that up and let it be a little more flexible, let some outside APO events or material count. And then there's also a lot of other ways that your chapter members can get their leadership experience. Like I mentioned in the beginning, it doesn't just have to be an APO webinar. So maybe if they offer to help plan a virtual event, or they lead a meeting or something outside of their typical responsibilities as a pledge or an active, or if they're on another committee but they want to help out the fellowship committee or they want to help out membership committee and kind of sub in for leading a meeting here and there. Look at those as ways to gain leadership experience and meet some leadership hours as well, because it really is a unique experience this semester with everybody kind of having to come together and work as best as we can together virtually. Okay, now we're going to move on to fellowship. And this is probably the easiest principle to get moving and to get going, because a lot of it can just be as simple as having group chats or video chats and checking in with one another, having some live calls or like coffee chats with exec or office hours for all the chapter exec members. So things like that, where you're really just encouraging conversations to continue to be fostered virtually. But here are some more type of interactive fellowship event ideas you can do virtually. We have the roundtable webinars that we're going to be leading as a region. Our first one coming up is next week, and it's for the seniors. And that's really to brainstorm some LFS events that we're going to do specifically for the seniors that are graduating this semester and unfortunately had their semesters cut short. So we want to make sure that we're offering them some programming so they still get to live out their time as an active in APO. And then we'll be doing other roundtables where it's really just a group chat to talk about different ideas across the region, or to check in with everybody, maybe do an activity together and just have everybody mix and mingle and get to know one another. Jackbox games is a really neat thing that I've started seeing chapters do at some of their meetings back when they were on campus. I've seen our Delta Alpha chapter just tried this out last week. They actually did a Twitch live stream. So they had somebody running the Twitch live stream of the Jackbox game, and then everybody else could log on with their phones and they could play a trivia game together. That was really neat. One of my favorite things I think I've seen as well is the Netflix movie nights. There's a Netflix party website, and we posted that link on our Region H social media page. So it's saved there if you want to go check out the highlights on Instagram. And it is basically a tool for multiple people in multiple different homes to watch Netflix together at the same time. So one person has to load it and start the movie, and it will start the same movie at the same time on everybody else's screens. So whether you're in Ohio, Indiana, Northern Kentucky, or anywhere in the country, you can watch the movie at the same exact time, and then it pulls up this really cool group chat for everybody. So you can still interact while the movie is going on. So it's almost like being in the same room at the same time. There's Kahoot games, there's online board games, there's online card games. A lot of these I have listed down below as just some online game sites to check out. I love all the apps that you can play, so I'm a huge Yahtzee fan. That's something that I recently discovered, so I have added friends on there and we play Yahtzee together. You can do Words with Friends. I think there's Monopoly, and there's an endless list of games that you can get on the App Store too. So if you're not playing on your laptop, it's really easy to do on a smartphone or tablet too, and you can add all your friends in the chapter or in fellow chapters as well. If you've got video games, I've seen students starting to do like PlayStation Live or Xbox Live events where that they all log on and play the game together at the same time. And then, like I said earlier, you can just do things as simple as having some group phone calls or video chats and really just to check in with everybody. I've got some tips down below, just like with leadership, talking about being more flexible and kind of opening up the opportunity for more fellowship, more so than we typically do when we're in person. I know fellowship is typically like events that you do together in person on campus, or you have a formal, or it's a lot of things that are orchestrated like that. And now we have to be a little more creative when you have everybody kind of sitting at home by themselves, but still connected virtually through a screen. Really great opportunity with fellowship this spring virtually is going to be doing some big and little activities, maybe even family competitions, maybe things with actives and pledges like a speed dating or get to know you event. So really don't just focus on bonding and continuing fellowship for the active members in your chapter or just as an exec team to bond them. You really want to make sure you're incorporating everybody and especially giving a special focus to those pledges who probably didn't have the chance to meet a lot of actives before everybody had to move off campus this spring. So really taking the opportunity to get those pledges kind of mix and mingled with the chapter and getting them to know their actives, especially if they've got bigs or families. So taking special attention to that and kind of building that into your virtual fellowship program, I think it's going to be especially important this spring. Okay, moving on to service. Here are some of ideas for service. Luckily, there's endless volunteer websites that are out there that you can do service from home or service virtually on the computer. So service is definitely has probably the most opportunity, is probably the simplest way to be of service and to get those service hours completed if that's a concern of your exec team. These are just some of the volunteer websites that we found. Our Tau Omicron chapter actually put together some of these on social last week, which was really awesome. So kudos to them for putting this out first. They came up with the LibriVox company. This organization helps record free public audiobooks. There's 7 cups, and you can volunteer to be an active listener for anybody experiencing emotional distress. You're really just logging on to help listen to people that want to call in. And that's very similar down below to number 9, the crisis text line. Free Rice is a really neat app that I've seen some of our chapters are already using this year. It's a free app that volunteers can download, and you answer a bunch of different quiz questions. And after so many questions, the company will donate rice to families in need. So I know a lot of chapters do things like screenshotting after answering so many questions so that you can turn that in for your service hours. Be My Eyes is a website that pairs people who can see with a blind or low vision user for assistance. So you can help them if they have to go out to a grocery store or they're trying to read something or need instructions for like setting up their TV or things like that. That's a really great organization, and it's very easy to log on and to start helping people almost immediately. There's the Amnesty Decoders. It's a platform for volunteers that can use their computers or phones to help researchers kind of sift through pictures and documents and help them kind of organize things. There's Translators Without Borders. If you are one of our brothers who are fluent in multiple languages, this is a really awesome opportunity to assist users across the world and translate for them. So if that's something that you're passionate about or you have that fluency, this is definitely something to look into. There's the United Nations Volunteers Online. There's a bunch of different opportunities to get involved with, especially with sustainable development challenges. So you can use any kind of device from anywhere in the world and really take on different projects that they have posted. And this kind of changes regularly. So you can log on to see if there's anything that interests you. There's the Smithsonian Digital Transcription. and you can become one of their digital volunteers to help make their historical documents and their data more accessible. Skipping down to number 10, there's the Project Gutenberg, and you can help proofread new ebooks that are coming out and use the online forums to kind of connect with other fellow proofreaders. So if you've got a group of your chapter volunteering for this organization, they can get on forums together and kind of chat with each other while they proofread and provide service to this organization, which I thought was really neat. That's kind of a way to double dip with fellowship and to keep brothers communicating and doing service together, even though they're doing it from the comfort of their own homes. There's an organization called Chemo Angels next. This is where you'll be assigned a patient, and this is more of a one-on-one kind of personal service opportunity. It's just like sending letters or packages to a member of the military. You would send a package or a card or letters to a patient that is going through chemo. Next, we have Warm Up America. If you are somebody who loves to knit or crochet, this organization collects different sections or finished afghans and accessories for a bunch of different opportunities that they run year round. So if you're somebody that has that material at home already and would be happy to donate, this is definitely something you want to check out. And this is something that you could do one of those combined fellowship events we talked about a little bit ago with utilizing the live Zoom tool or even Google Hangouts or Skype. You could have everybody knit together live, maybe do like a coffee and knitting webinar with everybody, and then you can send your donations when you're able to. There's Zooniverse, which is an opportunity for volunteers to participate in real research projects. There's about 50 active online citizen service projects at the moment. So it's similar to some of these other organizations where you can log on and see what's available, what's the current project, see what interests you, maybe team up with some brothers or pledges from your chapter and do it together. And then these next two opportunities we found online really pair you with more specific local opportunities or organizations online based on your interests. So if you want to check out Volunteer Match or Catch a Fire, these seem to be two really great websites for connecting you with different local opportunities to volunteer, websites that we might not have listed already. So if you've got brothers that out of the list of 13 that we just went over, if there's nothing that's catching their eye, they really want to find something more tailored to their interests, this is a great opportunity for them to kind of research through this website and maybe find some more for your chapter to participate in. These are some of the virtual service product ideas via Skype or Zoom that we've heard from our students and we've seen already taking place across the region. Bracelet making for local children's hospitals, and this can be in a multitude of different materials. So if you've got beads, if you've got string or rope or things to make bracelets out of, you can kind of be innovative and make them out of what you have in the comfort of your homes without having to go out and shop, and then maybe save the donations for when it's safe to go drop off at the local hospitals. That goes for card making too. We've got that on this list. You can make cards for hospitals, for nurses, for nursing home patients, anything you like, especially like first responders or the people that are helping us through what's happening nationally. And that's something that you could probably have your students collect hours, like maybe for every 10 cards, they get half a service hour, 30 minutes, half an hour of service. So whatever you want to set that schedule like, those are definitely really awesome opportunities to do from home. Just like the dog toy making, I've seen our chapters like Beta Lambda and Xi Upsilon doing this while they were back on campus. And this is something really neat where you take like strips of old t-shirts and then you wrap them up and kind of hand knit almost these dog toys. And it's very easy to do, and we can get instructions if your chapters are interested in doing that. And this would be something where you could have everybody kind of meet like Sunday at 7 on Zoom, and everyone's going to like live do this together with whatever old t-shirts they happen to have at home. If you are a crafty person like I am, you probably have paint at home already and probably some things that are unpainted, or you've got some materials you could put together. If you're able to go out and shop or order from Amazon or Walmart.com or places like that, that's probably the even safer option. You can paint items over the next few weeks that we're all at home, kind of isolated. You can take this opportunity to paint items and then donate them later when it's safe to go drop off those donations. I know we've done this for a conference in the past, like painting birdhouses for nursing homes. Those patients love them because they can put them outside their windows. So if you want to look into this, there's really an endless amount of ideas that you could do for whether it's schools, local schools or shelters, nursing homes, hospitals, anything like that. You can really contact them and see what they might be interested in or what they might think their patients or students would be interested in seeing, and kind of curate that on your own time this spring and summer. And then lastly, we've started seeing some of our chapters organize some donation drives, which is really nice. You can even do these virtually from home without having to wait to drop off donations. So like, for example, the Ronald McDonald House in a lot of our different sections, including Cleveland, the Cleveland area has been asking for immediate donations, and you can actually ship directly to them if you purchase online. So if you want to collectively as a chapter, like pull together funds, or have students donate individually from their families, you can actually order stuff from Amazon or Walmart or online and have it shipped directly to those nonprofits. So there's an endless amount of causes, I'm sure, in each of our different sections. If that's something your chapter wants to do or wants to give students the opportunity to do for service hours, they can make those donations individually and not have to touch the product or drop it off themselves. They can have it shipped directly to those nonprofits. Like for leadership and fellowship, we also have the tips down below for service. One of the tips that I thought was really interesting was the opportunity to reach out to the service partners that your chapter already has. So say you already work with an animal shelter throughout the year, or you're really connected with this nursing home, reach out to them and see if they have any virtual opportunities or things that students could be doing remotely. If there's drives that they really need, that you guys could complete over the next couple weeks, and then hopefully somebody can collect the donations and drop them off when it's safe. Maybe start there. That's a good place to start as a square one. Just touch base with people you already are working with, see if there's some work from home opportunities. Group, just like with leadership or fellowship, you can do group service together if it takes place virtually. So if you set up a certain time and day and give people advance notice, like, hey, Sunday at 8, we're going to make bracelets together, and then maybe Tuesday night we're doing the dog toys. So if anybody wants to save old t-shirts, stuff like that. Just really brainstorming ways to add different opportunities for service from home. I mentioned a little bit earlier with leadership, the opportunity to do more service to the fraternity hours. This is one of those pillars of service that I think we leave out really often in our service programs, because we do so many phenomenal projects for the community and for the campus, and even national projects like a blood drive. But sometimes our chapters forget to add that service to the fraternity opportunity. And it doesn't always look like the campus or the community service projects that you're doing on a weekly basis when you're back on campus. So a service to the fraternity hour could be somebody doing something outside of their typical responsibility to enhance the chapter's operations or to give back to the chapter. So for example, an active taking a APO Leads launch course, like they're developing themselves as a leader and taking 3 hours out of their time to do that. And that could be a leadership requirement opportunity, but also at the same time, maybe they're getting 3 hours of service to the fraternity for taking that course. Or they get an hour of service to the fraternity if they helped lead a virtual event. It's not under their role to do so, but maybe they're an active that wanted to help everybody out and lead a morning yoga class or something for virtual fellowship. So advertise that as an opportunity for your chapters. Work with your service CPs to kind of figure out what the definition of that is going to look like. But really, like I said in the beginning, I think being creative and being flexible with our requirements this spring is going to be really key just to keeping brothers and pledges engaged and helping them not feel so overwhelmed with what they need to accomplish virtually. Okay, and then last but not least, the National Office also put together a virtual service volunteer guide, and this was really neat. It incorporates a lot of the same organizations that we already went over, so I won't read through their list, but you definitely want to check this out as well to see if there's any additional organizations or ideas. They talk about the same tips that we've already gone over, like the benefits of virtual service, doing things that are flexible. You can do things from home. You can do a variety of different service. And it's really reiterating how our chapters can continue to be servant leaders throughout this type of situation, especially if this is something that happens in the future. We've now all gone through this for the first time together, kind of moving to virtual chapter operations and And now we're learning all these different opportunities for service virtually, and you can continue these in the fall semester and next year, even if we are all back on campuses. This is a really great opportunity to help your brothers meet those requirements and maybe not have to do so on the schedule of having to meet in person. They can do it on their own time. So I'm just flipping through these different pages, the database of their different organizations that they have as well. So service VPs and your committees would definitely want to check this out in addition to our list, just to see if there's anything else when you're putting together your virtual program for the semester. So I'm going to head back over to the virtual resources tab on the website. These links, like I said, are all under leadership, fellowship, and service. We've got the membership and finance and other virtual resources here listed. If there's anything that comes up while you guys are leading these programs or coming up with ideas with your committees and have questions, please feel free to reach out. Your section chairs and advisors, I'm sure, have endless ideas as well from things that have been done in the past or other community partners that you guys might have had in the past, and may have some ideas of local entities that you guys can reach out to. So depending on where you live, I know that there's a lot of different organizations and different cultures that we have in our chapters of partnerships that we have. So look into those and really help our different communities that we have and see how we can be of service and still be leaders and continue the friendships that we have across our region. That's my challenge to everybody that's an officer currently. I know that this is a super overwhelming time, and we're all trying to get through the changes to work and school and everything moving virtually. And once that all settles, I think offering opportunities when possible to our students is going to be really impactful and meaningful to kind of bridge everybody together in our time of need. So that is my challenge to all of you. Just continue the communication channels, continue reaching out to your brothers and your pledges especially, and helping bridge everybody together when we can, and really take care of yourselves and make sure everyone's staying healthy and we're being safe. I think moving to virtual events is the best thing for the foreseeable future until it's safe for everybody to meet in person again. So until further notice, this is our game plan going forward. If you have any questions, like I said, reach out. Section chairs, advisors, myself, and our region staff are always available to help you guys throughout this process. So hang in there, and if you have any questions, I look forward to talking with you soon. I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of your evening. Have a great night.